Today we do a tabletop review of Athlon's Midas Tac 6-24 by 50 Gen 1 scope. Stay tuned. Hey shooters, it's Rick from Canadian Rimfire Precision Series. So today we do a tabletop review of Athlon's Midas Tac Gen 1 6-24 by 50 first focal plane scope. So this scope was donated to us by Athlon as part of their sponsorship of the 2019 season of CRPS. And I've managed to use this for many matches last year. This in combination with the CZ457 with the IBI custom barrel helped podium a few times last year. Again, if you're looking for a decent scope, I think Athlon should be definitely on your list of optics to check out. It's not a very well-known brand, or wasn't last year. This year, certainly that is changing. I think we had a 90% increase in the number of Athlon scopes we saw at our events this year. So that's a testament to, I guess, Athlon's marketing efforts and the fact that people are loving what they see. Again, it's a solid scope. I think a good optic, and I just want to clarify what role a scope does. I think the number one thing that people need to invest in is fundamentals training. Number two is solid, reliable ammo, and then number three is, again, I'm talking about a platform that works. The rifle obviously needs to be reliable and able to group. And the fourth piece is a reliable scope. If your scope doesn't track, you're wasting your time. It doesn't matter how clear it is or how many features it's got. If it doesn't track well, then you are fooling yourself. So I've used this scope in below freezing temperatures all the way up to 80, 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's never let me down. Tracking has been dead on and straight. So I'm happy with it. Magnification 6-24 by 50. I rarely go up that high. I'm going to slide in some images of the reticle at 6 and at 24 power. What's nice about the reticle is that the center dot is a very fine dot surrounded by a clear space, so you can actually see what you're aiming at, even if you're zoomed in. Although I don't shoot anything past 16 power, it is helpful that you get a really fine aiming point with a nice clear picture around what you're aiming at. Excuse me. So as I said, it's a first focal plane scope, and it's got a zero stop. And what's nice is it's got positive clicks, very little chance of over travel unless you're just super ham-fisted. The zero stop is very easy to set. Just remove the turret cap with one screw and you'll see a brass collar. You've got 3 grub screws that you loosen, rotate the ring till it hits the bump stop, and then you lock it down and put the cap back on and you're good to go. On the windage side, it's a capped turret. Okay. I mean, if you don't want to mess around with the cap, you can just leave it uncapped, and it's got the same positive sound. I don't know if you can hear that, and engagement. And then the parallax goes from 10 yards, okay, although it's not marked, it goes from 10 yards all the way out to 500 yards, which is great for those that shoot ORPS as well, which is our short-range version of CRPS. Those distances are typically between 25 meters or 25 yards to 100 yards, whereas CRPS is more 75 to 350 to 400 meters. So it's a big difference. It's got 25 mil of travel, which is helpful because once you start pushing past 350, past 300, you're looking at 12 to 19 mils of elevation that you'll have to dial in. So that's useful. And I think it's also 25 mil on the windage, but I don't think you'll have to do that unless you're shooting in the middle of a hurricane, which I don't recommend. What else is there? I think the clarity is great. Again, I'm not too hung up on contrast and chromatic aberration. As long as the reticle is useful and it tracks true, that's really my primary. I've never been disappointed in any scope I've tried in terms of clarity, or I don't think clarity's ever lost me a match. Again, I don't shoot in the early morning or late evening, so that's not within the performance bandwidth that I'm worried about. What else is there? I think the price point is, it's not a budget scope. It's definitely, in the over $1,300. I don't know what the current street price is, but take a look. Red Star Targets, Jerry Teo at Mystic Precision, Test Row, and I think I'm not sure, but Go Big Tactical perhaps. Those are the go-to guys, and also Bullseye London. I'm not sure if they carry Athlon, but those are the ones I'd hit up. They're good sponsors of the series, but I'd start with them first before I go anywhere else. So that's the Midas Tac 6-24x50 Gen 1. There is a Gen 2. I'm not up to speed on kind of what the differences are. But certainly, you know, the Gen 1 has not disappointed. Stay tuned later on. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to have reviews of the Argos, which is the production level under $700 or thereabouts, and also the big brother to the Midas, which is the Aris. This is a 30 millimeter tube. I think the Aris, I know that the Aris is a 34 millimeter tube, and it's got I think locking turrets as well, and or it's got locking turrets and similar performance. And we'll talk about what the differences are once we do the tabletop review there. So, as I said, I've used it all year last year. Folks have tried it out. I've got no issues recommending this to anybody. It's a great solid optic that performs well and is proven, and it's helped me podium a few times as well with this rig too. So that's it. That's the Athlon Midas Tac Gen 1 6-24x50. Anyway, take care, stay safe, and hope to see you on the firing line.